Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Let There Be Talk. Today is Monday, October 2nd, coming to you live from New York City. Just had an incredible weekend at Zany's in Chicago and Rosemont. Want to give a shout out to my main man, Josh Wolf. What a great friend setting that up. Thank you, Josh. You madman, Josh Wolf. Yeah, I'm here in New York. About to start a run here at the Stand. If you live on the East Coast in the New York area or you have friends here, send them out. Send them out to see me at the Stand. I'll be on pretty much every night except for October 6th, Friday night. That night I will be seeing Springsteen on Broadway. Cannot fucking wait for this. I've been reading every tidbit about it. Anything I can get my hands on, but I also do love the element of surprise. I can't wait to see what he plays. It's supposed to be pretty fucking cool. From what I understand, he's going to be telling stories, reading excerpts from the book. If you haven't read this book, I'm deep into it. Born to Run, Springsteen book. Wow. You know, it's so funny how I just didn't like him growing up, him and the Dead, and now those are like two of my main bands in life, nonstop. Bruce, the Dead, you know, amazing. I can't wait for that, and of course I'm going to do a full episode on that as soon as I step out of the venue. A great guest today. And I want to tell you something about Kenny Aronoff, my guest today, drummer, God. I always, Kenny has been around for a zillion years. As you hear this episode, he's played on, 330 million sold records. 330 million. Calculate that. Like, process that in your brain. 330 million. And, that's years and years of playing drums on tons of records. And you just can't even understand the work ethic that takes and the hustle of being a hired gun. And if you haven't seen that movie yet, Hired Gun, go out and see that right away and understand the grueling drill of doing that. And I can relate to that a lot, being a comedian where you're not quite sure when your next booking's going to come. I'm always thinking that, like, I'm kind of stupid though. I've never been a guy that saves for the winter. I always feel like, okay, I made this money, I worked my ass off, let's buy something nice, and then fucking get behind the eight ball again of like, shit, I got to find work. I think it keeps me going. One day I'll probably burn out on that. Like, fuck that. Let's make some money here and just save it. But then, I don't know. A part of me, my motivation's gone. Or not my motivation, but my drive of like, holy shit, I got to pay bills. But like you find out with anybody that's been in the art all their life, it's never been about the money. Or you would have been out a long time ago and just got a real job. Kenny Aronoff has... as I interviewed him, I related to him and respected him so fucking much because what he says that resonates with me and a lot of people I think it should resonate with is there's no fucking back door. There's no quick way. There's no easy way. If you look at every person that's made it, and I've said it over and over, they work their ass off. They've never said like, yeah, man, I just got lucky, opened the door and fucking boom, I've been working my whole life. That, you never hear that. Not on the long timers and not with people that work with the big stars. It's work ethic, and Kenny really lays it down on what he did to get where he's at. He's 64 years old. He looks incredible. The guy looks better than me. I'm 51. The guy looks like, it's insane. His body's killer. His playing's great. The gruelingness of playing drums on your body parts, your shoulders, your hands, your ears, the crack of that snare, those fucking cymbals, all that shit. It's not an instrument for people to be playing all their life, You never hear that. So when you see guys that are in their 50s, 60s, 70s playing drums, Charlie Watts, Kenny, Abe, all these guys, it's like hats off to these dudes, man. And I just love having drummers on because they just don't get enough glory. And whenever I have drummers on, people really are happy because they don't get to hear enough from these guys. So this is a great episode, and I cannot thank Kenny enough and Hero Jr. for setting it up. Hero Jr. secretly on the down low, not secretly, but they've been helping me book this show. How cool is that? That's what it's about out there, helping each other out. Let's see. Let's get a little shout out to everybody that donated this week. Thank you so much. If you want to donate to the podcast, it's patreon.com/Dean Del Rey. And what a great week it's been. Thank you, man. Andy Sandlin. Thank you, buddy. Andy Sandlin. Spencer oh, man, I'm going to fuck your name out. Jozwiak? Jozwiak? Fucking terrible. Spencer Jozwiak. Jozowick. Maybe it's Jozowick. Fuck, I might have nailed that. Spencer Jozowick. God damn, special shout out for Spencer Jozowick. This guy, great donation. Thank you, buddy. Jeremy Savage. Great name. Jeremy Savage. If that's your real last name, you win, dude. My name's Jeremy Savage. Ken Stallman. Jason Olson. Richard Williams. All you guys, thank you so much for donating to the podcast. I am in New York City for the next 10 days, and then I got some other great shows coming up. Brand new shows on the calendar, October 6 and 7. I'll be in Arizona for the All Things Comedy Podcast Festival. That's going to be incredible. Not sure what's going to go down yet, but it's a festival of all kinds of people from All Things Comedy Network. Burr's going to be out there. And a bunch of other people from the network will all be there podcasting and doing comedy. I'm hoping to get Rob Halford as a guest, but who knows? That's a long shot. December 7, 8, 9, brand new show, and I will be with Joey Diaz at the Sacramento Punchline. What a great way to wind down the year. Punchline, Sacramento. Still no New Year's Eve show yet. No biggie. Not my favorite night to do comedy. What else is happening? Oh, like I said, just out here in Chicago at Zanies. I want to give them one more shout out and some love. I do think, like, I've been doing the podcast over 5 years now, which is crazy, and I love doing it. Sometimes I think, man, maybe I should have done a comedy podcast. I didn't want to do a comedy podcast because everybody, Marin was doing it. And that's, I was like, why would you try to, compete with that? That thing's so great. I wanted to do a music one. But sometimes I wish I did do comedy one because it would probably mean more butts in the seats. I love talking rock and roll and stuff, but rock and roll and comedy haven't seemed to cross completely yet, where people that our big music fans go, oh, I love your podcast. Gonna come out and see you live. Still not there. Hopefully one day it will be. So if you ask me to come to one of your cities, I'm obviously not there because the draw's not there, and that's just the truth. I'm not gonna sit here and act like things are blowing up, like, oh, I'm out there killing it. Nah, not. Working 7 days a week, trying to get people in the room to see comedy. And it's fucking tough, man. But, yeah. Like I said, love doing this show. Glad you guys enjoy it. Maybe some of you will come out. Some of you did, man. Zanies, awesome. Saw about, 20 of you, maybe more, that came out from the podcast. It's great. I always love that. So, thanks, everybody. The episode is brought to you by my 100% kick-ass #1 sponsor, El Cajon Harley. Yep, winter is coming, but it doesn't mean anything, man. Ride all year around. Man up, buy a motorcycle, get yourself a bagger. Heated seat, heated grips, tunes, just blaze to work. Splitting lanes, no traffic. That's how you do it, man. Get a bagger and ride all year around. Or get yourself one of those brand new 2018 Dynas. Brand new frame, brand new motor, all kinds of crazy new stuff and designs. Go see my boys, El Cajon Harley. Tell them I sent you. They've been a podcast sponsor for 1.5 years now. And I absolutely love those guys, man. I got to see a few of them. Came out to see Burr and I, Greg Riley and the boys. And it was great to see them. So what a fantastic sponsor. And I hope to keep them on for another year. El Cajon Harley. Hit them up. Go to their website, elcajonharley.com. You can fill out find out if you can get financed. Fill out right online there. It's easy to get financed or get your bike serviced. Get it ready for the winter with some new tires, whatever you need. Fly in to San Diego. They will pick you up and you can ride home wherever you live. I don't care where you live. Get yourself a bike at El Cajon Harley. Also, the other sponsor who's going on 4 years, 4 years a sponsor, Earthquaker Devices. Tons of you musicians out there listen to my show. Tons of you need some stomp boxes that don't break down. You play guitar, bass, drums, keyboards, anything. You can run your signal through one of these pedals and finally sound good. You tired of sounding shitty? You don't sound good. You don't sound like Angus. You don't sound like Dave Mustaine. You don't sound like Walter Becker. You know why? Because you don't have a stomp box. That's the only way to sound good. Get yourself an Earthquaker device. Go to their website, Earthquaker Devices, handmade in Akron, Ohio, land of Devo, who are the kings of pedals. Handmade right there with all kinds of cool pedals, man. Check them out. Go to their website, earthquakerdevices.com. Get yourself a stomp box. Tell them I sent you. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to sound terrible. You don't want to sound terrible live. Oh, look, I'm on their website. And Mark Mothersbaugh is on the site. Show us your junk. Wow. Right on the site there. God, Devo's main man right there. Okay, Earthquaker Devices. El Cajon Harley, I love you. Let's get into the episode right here. Don't forget to subscribe, people. Leave a review. That's how we get the show in the top 100. If everybody subscribes today, all at once, boom, I'm number one. Love you guys. Keep the candles lit. Here we go. Kenny Aronoff. Oh, man.
301 millionth guy.
The 301 millionth guy. Yeah. This place is great. We're at your studio. Kenny Aronoff, my guest today. Drummer.
Yep.
Drummer God.
Yep.
Well, it's so funny. We first met, I was telling you, you were out on tour with Michelle Branch, and I was out touring with the Wallflowers. We played somewhere, like in Minnesota or whatever, and mid-show, a tornado was coming, and they hit these horns, warnings, and you and I went down into this bunker, and we were down there, and then I remember the bus drivers were like, we got to get out of here. We got in the buses, and it was like that Bill Paxton film.
Yeah.
We're just driving down. You could see the tornado.
You saw it?
Yeah, you could see it in the far distance, and we were like, holy shit. I'd never seen one, like.
Well, you know what? When there's one up there, there's usually 10.
Wow.
I mean, there's usually not just one.
Right.
Because, I remember being up there with the Bodines, playing somewhere up there, and it was like we couldn't, tornadoes were circling. It was like 30 spotted in the whole area. We ended up playing. We waited till all of that passed.
Yeah.
That's serious shit, man.
That's scary shit.
But here we live in California. I was bought 2 big earthquake packages.
Yeah, man. It's
You know,
coming.
and
It's
I don't-
coming.
I mean, how can it not be coming? And, I mean, it's like, where do you put it? Outside, inside? Where's the crack in a... You just don't know.
Right. What's in an
weird.
earthquake bag?
Oh, they have this one for $107. I bought on Amazon. It's got 2 sleeping bags, a skimpy tent,
Yeah.
2 ponchos.
Yeah.
It's got a ton of tablets to purify water.
Right.
It even has water pouches.
Wow.
Like these little water pouches. You can just get at least some a little bit of water.
Right.
You've got a flashlight. You squeeze. Don't need batteries. You squeeze it and it lights up. You got all these little breakable lights, light sticks that last for 12 hours.
Oh, yeah, glow sticks.
Yep. You've got a lot of bars, probably the type that we don't want.
Sounds like a Coachella kit.
Yeah, it's got all kinds of medical stuff.
Wow.
It's got gloves.
Yeah.
They recommend you have good, strong hiking boots. It's all kinds of stuff there. Food. It's basically they're trying to get you to survive for 3 days. You can survive with this for 3 days.
3 days.
So I got 2 packs.
Yeah.
I bought one.
You got 6 days in you.
and 4 sleeping bags.
Right.
In case
Yeah.
I shit the bed.
Wow.
No, what I'll do is I'm going to put one in my wife's car because I'm gone all the time.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if there's an earthquake, hopefully the house doesn't get damaged, but hopefully
Right.
it doesn't come toppling on the car. But if she's out and about, because they're talking about people who are in not just earthquakes, but floods and
Yeah.
the hurricanes and stuff. You could be
Nature,
stranded.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's worried about war. This
Yeah.
shit's way bigger than war.
Yeah.
This
yeah.
stuff is, when nature, we have no control. There's nobody can control.
War, we know we control where the bombs drop, right?
Yeah, we can do that, but you can't control nature, and you can't control, those big, environmental things at all. So, but anyway, it's funny. It's like my mom goes, "Why do you live in there?" And it's like that is a logical thing. Well, I said, "Mom, there's only a couple places you can play music anymore: Nashville and L.A.
Yeah.
At the level I'm trying to do it.
Right.
So, yeah, I'll take a chance and hope the quake doesn't go under my house.
Well, let's get into this. You've been playing drums your entire fucking life. I've had a lot of drummers on here, and you think about all the guys over the years, the Jim Keltners and those kind of guys, and then you got the Josh Freezes. There was that guy Marco Urbano for a while. All these guys that were doing sessions.
Abe LaBoyle.
Abe, of course.
Vinny Caluta.
Vinny Caluta.
What's his name?
Greg Bissonette.
Greg Bissonette, Matt Chamberlain.
Yeah, Matt Chamberlain for a
Yeah.
long time.
It's just trippy. This movie I'm in called Hired Gun, and
Right.
I did a Q&A after the premiere of it in L.A. And now I know this focuses on me, but he made the point that I thought was very, very important that wasn't mentioned in Hired Gun.
Right.
And this is the guy, people like me, Vinny, J.R. Robinson, it's this. He goes, Jay, he's got a great accent. He's like, "Yeah, Kenny, so get out." He talks like that, but I'm not going to do that for the listener. But what he said was, he says, I came to LA to be a guitar player, and I thought about it, well, how long do session people last? And the Wrecking Crew basically was 10 years, that's all.
Right.
The people who don't know who the Wrecking Crew is, it was the elite session players in LA, and they didn't have drum machines, and they did. Hal Blaine was the drummer. You had to be able to read. You had to be able to play every style of music, and everything went through these guys. Every style of music, and but mostly, rock and roll. They had to have musicians that could play this rock and roll stuff. Bands would hire them to do everything. So anyway, he says only 10 years. He says, I figured I could get 10 or 15 years, and I went, that ain't gonna cut it, man. So he said I started writing songs, and he wrote some big songs, some really successful songs, and then played guitar on like Steely Dan. Was it Josie or Peg? One of those songs.
Right.
Just unbelievable playing, and he became a producer. He says, and I eventually had a lot of fuck you money, and I did really well. But then he points to me, and I didn't expect it. He says, this motherfucker
Yeah.
has been a session drummer for almost 40 years.
40
and
years.
Still going strong.
40 years.
Yeah, that's breaking the mold. But
And you're 64.
Yeah.
You look fucking fantastic.
Thank you.
It's unbelievable how good you look. And, you know, when you started out, I first hear of you, of course, from Mellencamp.
yeah.
And you're in Mellencamp forever. When you first in this band, are you like, well, I'm a band drummer? And is that in your mind, or were you always a hired gun in Mellencamp, and or was it ever like an actual band?
It was both. It was perceived as a band, but John had the record deal. John had the contract. John paid us. He made all the decisions. Excuse me. What happened was, and the reality of that, I mean, I always knew that. You know, it was his name. It was his thing. He made it clear. We got paid a salary. I got no royalties. I got no merch. I was just paid, you know. But the image was it was a band.
Right.
Not much different than like the East Street with Springsteen, except that these guys really got paid some big money.
Right.
And not much different than Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. Those guys got paid a lot of money because that's just the way Bob and Bruce felt. You know,
Yeah.
These guys were with him for years and years and years, and they finally went, you know what? They helped me make millions and millions and millions. So, but it's John's band. And after 8 years of being in the band, where we would literally go rehearse for a record, you know, this is when there were budgets. And we basically made it from working our asses off.
Right.
And, you know, if people... Anybody who thinks it's gonna fall out of the sky and land on their lap, they're full of shit. It ain't going to. We made it because we practiced from 11 in the morning to 5 at night, took a dinner break, and then practiced 7 to 11.
Every day?
Every day, 5 days a week.
Wow.
Unless John had extraordinary business. This is the way we became a band, became a unit, very much like, you know, a great football team like the Patriots. It's just, they put in the hours, they put in the time.
Same with great comedians, you know?
Yeah.
Stage time. You can't just cheat it.
You cannot. This is, sadly enough, and I'm diverting a little bit, but sadly enough, I think mediocrity's become acceptable, and I think that's bullshit. I absolutely can't, it's bullshit. Anybody who smiles and thinks, they're looking for the easy way out, I am a huge non-fan of that attitude.
Right.
Because the problem with that is, it's not just that you're not doing enough for yourself, but the big picture is, if you don't do something for yourself and you can't take care of yourself, somebody's going to. I don't want to be that guy.
You're so right there. You're so right.
many,
Carrying the dead weight.
No way, man. Go out in the desert and shoot yourself. Be done with it. You know, you're wasting everybody's time. And you're wasting this incredible life. This is what the highest level, I mean, the Buddhists think this is the highest level of existence you can have. It's a privilege. Now, if you get both your legs shot off in Iraq being a soldier, I'll give you money in a heartbeat.
Right.
It's no problem. That guy, he can't help what happened. But when you abuse yourself, and I mean, we're all young, we do stupid shit, but the thing is, I'm talking about, literally, your MO is to look for the easy way out.
Yeah, and you find it a lot in musicians, because I played music 25 years, and you can tell the guys that are going to go on and be the great dudes, and you can tell the guys that aren't going to ever play again. They miss rehearsals. They don't know the tunes that well. They're just punching in. They're looking for pussy, or they're getting high. You know, it's not even really what they want to do, but they think it's an easy way. You know,
There is no easy way.
nope.
Because here's the thing. Every second they're taking the easy way. Every second I'm taking the aggressive, going after it way. So we're getting farther and farther apart by the seconds.
Right.
They will not. How are they going to look at? Why did? You know, when I wrote my book, Sex, Drums, Rock and Roll, I had to look back at my life. I don't really have time to look back at my life.
Right.
I mean, I've been on 1,300 gold, platinum, diamond records, and the best that I can figure, because I had to come up with this stuff for the book, is 300 million records sold.
300 million.
I'm on 3 records that sold over 40 million.
You got the Bat Out of Hell too.
That's it. That's one of them. 2 Celine Dion records.
2 Celine
Dion records sold over 40 million.
Wow.
I'm on Ricky Martin. It sold 18 million. I'm on, oh my God, there's some big ones out there that.
John Bon Jovi, Blaze of Glory.
Well,
Scarecrow.
Mellencamp as a body of work sold
Gotcha.
30 million.
Right.
But, you know, that
But
kind of thing.
each one's like 2-3 million.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
but you're
anyway,
on some serious
some
fucking.
serious and stylistically different too. I'm on "Shake Your Bomb Bomb" by Ricky Martin. That was one of the most intense sessions I ever went through because I didn't know the politics that were involved. It was. I'll try to tell the story quick. I show up to a session. I write a chart. I'm one of the most anal. You saw my charts.
You
I
write
write
charts,
every note out.
Yeah, I just had Jim Bogerson on, who plays with the Counting Crows.
Yeah.
And when he auditioned for Sheryl Crow, he went, and since he learned how to do charts like you early on, he charted all her records. So she said, come in and learn these 3. And then when he killed them, she's like, well, I know you probably don't know anything else. He goes, I know them all and the backgrounds. And then he gets the gig.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. So that guy's a hard worker. So, you know, I walk in there and basically cut to the chase. It was a heavy session because Livin' La Vida Loca was a huge hit, but the record wasn't done.
Oh,
So
wow.
Sony-
So it's a single out.
Yes. So Tony, now you know the record business enough. What do you think Tommy Mottola is thinking? He's CEO of Sony Records. He's thinking, holy shit, we got to get some more hits because this thing's huge. We have potential of making a fuck of a lot of money here.
Right.
So what does he do? He gets the word out and wants the best songwriters in the world. So I walk in and I've got basically 2 guys that work for Emilio Estefan.
Yeah.
Emilio is Gloria Estefan's husband, but he's got a publishing company. He's got these songwriters. John Cicada, a singer, artist,
Yep.
wrote a song with George Noriega. I'm going to record 2 of their songs, but I didn't know that. When I walked in, I see those 2 guys there. I'm like, wow, what are you guys doing here? Because typically, if I'm going to do a session where I'm overdubbing like I just did the other day for Avril Lavigne, it's just the producer and maybe the artist or the producer and the engineer. That's
Right.
it, and my engineer.
Right.
4 of us. This is 30 people. Sony had like over 8 people there.
They're all in the room?
Yes. Desmond Child, who's the producer, songwriter
Yeah.
of
Bon
Shake
Jovi
Your
fame.
Bong Bong. Yeah, he's there with about 8 people. Then Ricky shows up from Miami with 8 people. There's 30 people in there watching me, and I went, holy shit. I immediately, the red light went off, and I went, this is serious shit. Sony is trying to get the best they can get, so they're squeezing people to compete with each other.
First time you ever seen this?
Never saw this ever.
Wow.
Not for a drum overdub.
Right,
Shit.
right.
Let the
a
fuck-
drum overdub.
drum overdub.
Bring everyone
But
in.
they wanted. Everybody's watching everybody. They're checking each other out. And so I immediately go like, holy shit. Here's what I decided. I call myself Kenny Kissinger at that point. First of all, I have to get along with everybody. And that's a huge skill set that has made me very, very successful. The ability to get along with everybody, be a team player, be able to communicate, be able to execute, be able to solve
Drop
problems.
your ego.
Everything besides drumming.
Right.
And the list is long. You have to be able to do to be a great. This is across the board a good business person.
Yeah.
These skill sets are very valuable. So I went, well, when I do my first take, it's got to be brilliant. I got to kick a field goal from 62 yards out, score a touchdown, win the game.
Let me ask you something. You're going in to track the track. Do they have a drum machine to give you a flavor of the beat, or do they give you some samples of what they're looking for?
they
Because
had
that's a different flavor.
They had the song on a CD.
Yeah.
Back then, you could put your CDs in your laptop. I track it. It's a demo, and it's got drum grooves.
Yeah,
It's got
gotcha.
It's got loops, percussion, and there's a drum groove that they use. So
it's a map.
It's like
Just kind of
shake
a
your
loose
bomb,
map.
Shake your bomb, bomb. Got do do, got do do, got do got do, got do. Shake your bomb, shake your bomb, shake your bomb, do got do. Got this Latin feel, and so I come in hard in the chorus, just to lift this thing and make it so it's Latin, but it's pop and rock.
Right.
So I make a chart. The problem was, this is back 2000 somewhere. In Miami, they sent the stems up through the internet. This was the beginning of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So people listening who don't know what this is, they send the guitar tracks up as like an MP3, I guess.
Yeah.
And then they load it into the Pro Tools in New York. Then they send the percussion track. Then they send the bass track. Then they send this track. And they got to line it all up. I'm listening to stuff. It's now 4 in the afternoon. Everybody's there, and I'm ready to go. And I say, I want to get the mix just right in my headphones. I went, wait a minute. there's 8 measures more in these stems than it was on my demo.
Right.
And they're all, come on, let's go. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
So now I got to write 8 more measures. Got to stick that somewhere on the music paper.
Right.
Because I can't erase all the middle. So I've got arrows going on that. Then the click track, which is crucial to have, because I don't know what they're going to keep. They're going to probably replace almost everything. This is a demo I'm playing to, so I got to be very precise with the click. The click track was the worst sound. It was like a cotton ball hitting the floor. It was the opposite of like a cowbell. It's like,
oh my God!
I'm like, what? And I for some reason it was very little control I had over it. I'm like, that's my click.
Yeah.
Can't we do something? They couldn't do anything. The percussion, brass came in super loud in the bridge on the percussion track, which and they was mixed together. The guy in Miami was an amateur and didn't have a lot of experience, so the brass came in so loud, but I had to hear the percussion when I was recording because this is Latin track.
Right.
I got to get the feel. My drumming is going to go with the percussion. When that bridge came in, I lost half my hearing probably.
Oh my God!
It was horrible.
Oh.
I told the engineer to try to bring it down there, but I need to hear the percussion. So
Yeah.
there was nothing I could do. Finally, I go out there and I say, I have my headphones on. I say, play the mix, and I tell them, I have a mixer out there, so I make the adjustment. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
I record it first take. I look up when I'm done. I feel like I kicked ass. There's Ricky Martin with his hands on the glass window in the control room looking at me, smiling. He's talking, everybody's smiling. Touchdown.
Yeah.
Scored. That's not your normal size. That's a very stressful
God damn.
situation where the idea for me was if I make everybody happy, then nobody's going to be arguing.
Yeah.
Because everyone's going to be getting along. So though when there's so many situations with Mellencamp, you had to get it in the first or second take.
He's a hothead, right?
Yeah, he's pretty intense.
Yeah, I've seen him get pissed off before.
When it was like but it was good training. But a lot of people don't know that I had this really intense classical training. When I graduated high school, first of all, when I was a kid, there was no.
You're up there in Massachusetts,
Western Mass.
Yep.
A very, very cool, artsy little town where the Boston Symphony Orchestra was in the summer. A town next to me, which is 3 miles away. These towns were like 4,000 people.
Right.
They're called the Berkshires. Norman Rockwell, the illustrator, lived right in town. Next door to me, you couldn't see any houses, but there was a house. Norman Mailer, the great author, actors. I used to go over to my buddy's dad was a screen writer. He wrote plays and books. He wrote The Miracle Worker, the story about Helen Keller, deaf, dumb, and blind.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, the movie, the director was, so Bill Gibson wrote it. The director was Arthur Penn,
right,
who did Bonnie and Clyde and Little Big Man and The Chase. Both these people had lived in my little town.
What is that, like a hippie town, kind of?
Yeah, it was Al Guthrie.
Wow.
Alice's Restaurant. That was my town.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
I used to go there as a little hippie in 5th grade.
And what's getting you into rock? Is it the 60s stuff? Because you're 64, so what
got me into rock? I mean, there was nothing to watch on TV. I was 10 or 11 years old, I think. We were playing outside as we always did. We had a black and white TV set.
Yeah.
With rabbit ears.
Yep.
RCA TV. With tinfoil on it to get better reception. Still, maybe 2 channels. So we're outside playing, and my mom's screaming at me and my brother to come into the house. I thought I'd done something wrong.
Yeah.
As always. I have a twin brother, identical.
Your twin brother?
Yeah, we're real hyper crazy little guys.
Twin brother?
Yep.
Wow.
Identical.
Identical.
Very identical.
That's insane.
He can't.
You guys dress the same and shit?
Not anymore. No, he's a doctor. But
yeah,
that guy, he can't travel anywhere. He's just nailed. Everybody goes, they know him. They see. I'm on TV so much that they think it's him.
Oh, my God.
This poor guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we get inside, and there's the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan
The
show.
Beatles.
So I saw the Beatles. I'd never seen anything like that, or I'd never felt anything like that. That was like my first drug of life. And I just literally, I turned around and my mom goes, I want to be in the Beatles. Can you call them up?
Why?
I was a naive little kid. I want to be in the Beatles. Call them up. And she's dancing and ignores me. I'm looking at that drum set.
Yeah.
Ringo's so cool and the energy. I'm like, oh, man, I want to do that. I want a drum set.
It was the drums right away. It wasn't. It
The
wasn't.
energy of it.
It wasn't the other guys, huh?
No, I didn't even notice the guitars. I'd noticed their hair and how cool they were, and I wish I could sing. But so my mom didn't call the Beatles. I didn't get a drum set. But 2 weeks later, I started my own band and played Beatles music.
Wow, Beatles. And did you get a drum kit or something?
I borrowed money and got a snare drum and a cymbal.
Uh-huh.
I was gardening
Yeah.
down the hill from my house for 50 cents an hour.
Wow.
From an actress,
Yeah.
a New York City actress. And, I gardened, and I played standing up. And our first concert was that year for the Grange meeting people. The elders of our town would have meetings to try to keep the town preserved and, that kind of thing. And we played, and I shut my eyes, and I thought I was in the Beatles. People were up dancing. It was as good as I saw it on TV in my mind. And we did 5 songs. When we were done, they said, "Do you know any more?" And we went, "No, but we'll play the songs again."
Yeah.
We played all 5. And the name of the band was the Alley Cats, and we played the Alley Cat song on the main guy was a piano player. We go.
You just playing, no lessons or anything? You just
No lessons. So now in 4th grade, they ask you what instrument you want to play. My mom taught me piano.
Right.
And the famous scene was, I'm done with piano. I want to be in a rock and roll band. So I want to play drums, no piano. She says, "Well, Kenny, I want you to play piano." I tore up the piano music, threw it at her, and I went running around the table going, "Drums, drums, 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 drums." That's what I did. And I went, "Okay, he's playing drums." And so I was self-taught. There was no mentors. Nobody told you how to make it in rock and roll. So in my junior year in high school, there was this buddy, Tommy Gibson, the son of that guy who wrote, the Bill Gibson who wrote the Miracle Worker story. He was getting better on the drum set. And there was another guy, Terry Hall, who eventually played with Arlo Guthrie. He was really good. And I said, "God, what are you guys doing?" "Well, we're taking lessons from this percussionist from the Boston Symphony Orchestra."
Wow.
So I went. I got on the bus. This is so. I was a big jock too. I was in.
You're a jock, huh?
3 varsity sports by the time I was a sophomore.
Wow.
So soccer, skiing, lacrosse.
Wow.
So I was hanging out. The first lesson, I had to get on a bus and go 2 hours from Western Mass all the way to Boston. And we had to take a Greyhound bus, get off, and walk to this guy's house, Arthur Press, percussionist in the Boston Symphony Orchestra. In the summer, I'd take lessons every week because they were in the Berkshires with the Boston Symphony Orchestra. But in the winter, it was once a month, or in the fall, in the winter, spring. I'd get on the buses. The night before, I'd been hanging out with the varsity cheerleaders and the varsity football team, getting shit-faced on vodka.
Yeah.
I got the worst hangover. I'm in the probably puking in the bathroom in the Greyhound. I get off the bus and I go to this guy's house. And he looks at me and he goes, "What's your name, son?" I go, "Kenny." "Kenny what?" "Kenny Aronoff. What have you prepared for me today?" I'm like, "What?" He goes, "What have you prepared? You prepared a marimba piece for me?" I said, I don't play marimba." "Well, do you play any mallets?" And I go, "What's mallets?" "With vibes. Marimba, glockenspiel." I go, "No." He says, "Well, you play a timpani, right?" I went, "Never played timpani before." He says, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
"What do you play?" And I'm getting smaller.
Yeah.
Smaller, and I'm like, "Fuck." And he goes, I say, "I play drum set." "Oh, you play drum set? Well, come on downstairs. Let's hear you play some drum set." Put
Yeah.
on Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Spinning Wheels.
Wow.
I started playing. I'd been jamming to it. He ripped me off the stool and pointed me to a practice pad.
Yeah.
"Go over there. We're starting from the beginning." Now, at that point, I could have gone, "Fuck this shit, man. I don't need this." But something told me, no, I do. And I knew I was going to go to school, college. Everybody in our family went to college. So I knew I was going to have to do something in college. I thought maybe I'll be a music major. But now he started to groom me in classical music. So I played in rock bands, but he gave me exercises. But he really was focusing on snare drum, my reading, mallets. My dad bought an old secondhand set of vibes for $300 in New York. Started practicing. Timpani, eventually I borrowed some timpani from somebody. And by the time I graduated, I got into the University of Massachusetts, barely. The guy liked me because I was insistent on, in the audition, they like you to sight read music after you prepare a piece. He puts up some music on a marimba, and I go to sight read it, and I miss every note pretty much. I'm not a good sight reader,
Yeah.
you know. And he takes the music, I grab it back from him and says, no, let me try it again. Try it like 4 times.
Yeah.
And that's when he went, you're hired, dude. I'm going to love teaching you. Yeah, he said, that's hard worker right there.
Yeah.
He was admired me for my perseverance. So I didn't even know I was this guy. I was just freaking out that I was not going to make it. I mean, where am I going to go? So I get in. The day after I graduated high school, and this is my point, the day I graduated high school, instead of partying all summer, I started practicing 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. Have a schedule. I'd wake up, I'd do 3 hours on mallets, 2 hours on timpani, 2 hours on legit snare drum reading, and then 1 hour on drum set.
Wow.
Then I'd play in a jazz trio at night, 5 nights a week. Did that all summer long. And somebody asked me, so why did you do that? And this is what my next book is about, because it's the why. Why would somebody do that? The how is, I did it.
Yeah.
But what was I thinking? And my answer is, I was shitting in my pants and terrified to fail.
Right.
My parents were putting me through college. I wasn't that good in classical music. I was okay at drum set and rock bands. Played in rock bands since I was 11. But classical, I couldn't read real good. I had to work with conductors. In high school, I wasn't in the marching band. I thought that was gay.
Yeah.
You know, like, why would I want to do that? I'm playing in clubs, playing Stones, Beatles, Zeppelin, and all the coolest stuff. Why would I want to be in an orchestra or symphony band or march, with squeaky horns and shit? So I was behind, no question. The reason why I practiced that much was failure to me was basically like dying.
Right.
Death. So I decided at that point, I realize now that I decided I'm going to live my life loud, and I refuse to die on the vine.
Wow.
And that's the whole theme of my new book. And that's because I look back and go, that's my method. It's like, I am ruthless. Okay, the number one running back in football, whoever he is,
Right.
baddest ass. Those guys are the baddest.
Yeah.
Does he score a touchdown every time he gets the ball? Hell no.
No.
Does he try, though? Hell yes.
Yeah.
He's always looking at the end zone. That's Kenny Aronoff. There is no. When my mom said there's no Beatles, I started my own band.
Yeah.
8 years after being in Mellencamp, John says I quit.
John says he quits.
Oh, let's go even back further.
Yeah.
I get in John's band. Look,
Do you audition for the band?
yes. Here's what So I talk about self-discipline and hard work are the ways that you become successful in life.
Yeah. Work ethic.
Work ethic. Not the lazy and entitled. You work hard, and self-discipline is just making yourself do stuff you don't want to do mentally or emotionally or physically. You don't want to, but you do it to get the results you want.
You're right.
We talked a little bit about diet. You are strict on your diet so that obviously I've done something right because the way I look at 64.
Yeah.
You do things not because it's fun, it's because you want the results.
Yeah.
And
last night I was doing a set at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
And I had done about 12 sets over the weekend. I was pretty fucking tore up.
Yep.
And I was working new material. And you're having a lot of hits and misses. And last night I was like, God, I'm so tired. I can't believe I got to go down there and do it. I was thinking, and then I was like, what am I thinking? You got to go do it. I love doing this. And I got my ass out of bed.
That's what you do.
Drove down there, and I went on stage, and I had one of the most electric sets, and Dr. Dre was in the crowd last night, dude.
Awesome.
And I fucking lit the place up. And after he asked around, like, who's that guy in the red flannel? He came out in the parking lot, said, you were fantastic. We took pictures and talked, and I was like, there it is, man. If I was lazy, I would have just stayed in bed, or I wouldn't have been ready from all weekend of working this shit and trying to find it, you know? And that
That's great.
constantly
That's great.
reminds me of like when you say what you're saying, you're like, holy shit, I'm going to keep going for the fucking, the top, you know?
You make movements and you take action based on values and boundaries. Values are meaning this is what I believe in. Boundaries are, I don't do that. You know, these are what you it's almost like the 10 Commandments. Yeah, 10 Commandments are old, but why we keep looking at them? Because they remind us of how to, function in life. So your value at that point is, I don't want to go, but I am going to go because that's what I signed up to do, and I committed to myself and everyone else down there.
Yeah.
And the self-discipline made you get down there. The working hard is just that's what you do. But there's another thing I got called RPS.
Yeah.
The repetition of anything is the preparation for success.
10,000 hours.
Yeah. Oh, this 10,000 hours is a squeak.
I hear you, but I'm just saying,
Right,
you know what I mean? Yeah,
okay.
but 64 years old.
You work on your show. I'm working on a speech. I'm a speaker, so I have to go and do a speech in Jamaica with 6 other speakers, and if the theme is a certain thing, it's basically, I think it's how to get to an altered state in your consciousness, and how that is important to live your life at the highest level. And in music, that's obvious. I mean, altered states. I've gotten to an altered state of consciousness by just playing. You're feeling things and seeing things and differently. And it's a spiritual and emotional thing. You can't put your finger on, but it's a real thing. So anyway, I will practice that speech 100 times.
Right. Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yep.
Repetition of any skill is the preparation for success, whether it's drumming, sports, diet, raising a family, relationships, anything. Repetition. So repetition, RPS is the action, is taking self-discipline and hard work and putting it into an action. And then the fourth thing is you create a goal, you create a plan that you execute to reach your goal. So when I went to college for 5 years, I got my ass kicked. I got humiliated by conductors because I couldn't read real good. I got just put into tears. There was many moments where I didn't ever wanted to give up, but I felt like I was being just tortured. I went to the University of Massachusetts, but I ended up at the Aspen School of Music in the summer because I was chasing some hot cellist. She didn't end up going. I got in at the last minute because I think I was an extra.
Yeah.
I got there, and that's where I got crushed. All these Juilliard prep kids were there, and kids that had been playing classical since they were in their diapers. But if you look at the picture of us, I'm the most famous guy there.
Wow.
I'm the tortoise.
Yeah.
That tortoise. So at that school, up at that camp, the teacher up there was heavy.
Why are you going for classical at the time when you
Because
know
there was
that
no school of rock.
But you want to play rock, didn't you?
Well,
Want to just
I did play rock
Right.
all the time.
Yeah,
but
at nighttime.
I thought, well, if you get a degree in classical music, you get into an orchestra, you get a job, you can teach. There's a whole thing.
Right.
And I did. I graduated.
Yeah.
Well, after Aspen, I auditioned to go to Indiana University, #1 classical school in the country.
Right.
I'd heard about this place. My teacher says, I'd come back in January. I went, no. This is me when I'm passionate.
Yeah.
There is no.
Yeah.
You shut a door on me, I open up another. You shut a door on me, I open another.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see the pattern when I wrote the book. I didn't know this about me. I said, no. I want to audition now.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, we got to find teachers up here from 4 different departments that teach at Indiana University. And there were. I think famous French horn player, Phil Farkas from Chicago Symphony Orchestra at IU, clarinet, flute, and percussion, and there was vocals too. So I auditioned, I get in. I go spend 4 years at Indiana University, worked my way from the bottom to the top. When I mean at the top, I could never play the marimba until I was 18. By the time I graduated IU, I'd won a violin concerto competition on marimba.
Wow.
I played one of the most prestigious violin concertos at Itzhak Perlman. The Israeli violinist used this as encore. I remember watching when I was a freshman in Indiana University. I went, that's going to be my marimba piece for my senior recital because it's so beautiful but so fucking technical.
Right.
So, I even have it. Stay with me, everybody. I'm going to play it for you. As I get this up, I'll continue talking. The thing about this piece was I had to practice it 2 to 3 hours a day for 365 days.
Oh, my God.
This was just going to be on my senior.
3 hours a day for a year.
Yeah, because you had to go, the last page is like, and then you go, and then move the metronome up and get it faster and faster. And hang in there, everybody. I'll play for you. I'll get to the last page. of this thing. So the thing is, well, here we go. The thing is that I wasn't the greatest. I made it happen.
Right.
That's my whole point. That's my whole point is I made it happen by just busting my ass. Here we go. Here's the... All right, here. This is an idea.
Wow, dude. That is like some radical. Now, what is that? Vibes or what is it?
Marimba. It's like vibes are metal keys.
Right.
A xylophone is wood keys, but they're very high pitched.
Gotcha.
This is a big, like some bars might be 2 inches wide.
Right.
I even have a set at my house, and I'm going to do a documentary with a Kodak film this year, and they want me to learn some of this again. I could learn the slow passages, but that was a huge achievement. Another big achievement, all based on self-discipline, hard work, and the RPS, was the number one student orchestra in the country was at Tanglewood, which is the grounds of where that's where the Boston Symphony Orchestra plays in the summer, and the adult or the older kids orchestra is supervised by the Boston Symphony Orchestra, and you get to work with the conductors that conduct the Boston Symphony Orchestra. So the first year I auditioned, I failed.
Yeah.
Second audition, and this is Vic Firth, who makes the Vic Firth sticks.
Yeah.
I started studying with him.
I didn't even know that was a real guy.
Yes.
I thought it was
timpanist in the Boston Symphony Orchestra.
I thought Vic Firth was a company. You know what I mean? I swear to God, all my life I played rock. I just thought it was a company. Like DW, Vic
I used to go
Firth,
to his house.
Tama.
I used to go to his house, and when he was making timpani sticks, and I'd buy them from him.
He'd make sticks at his house?
He'd be putting the felt, the felt top covers on these sticks, and he then would burn his name in. This is before he became the biggest stick company in the world. This is before he made rock sticks.
That's unbelievable.
So I auditioned for Vic. Just intense, the highest level of perfection and teaching, and no handhold. It's taking a lesson with him. If you make one mistake, he'll let you try one more time. If you don't, that page is done.
He's like that movie, Not My Tempo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he was nicer about it, but it's intense.
Right.
So, third year, I don't get in.
Oh.
Strike three. I went for a fourth, and I fucking got in.
Oh.
Number one student orchestra. I worked with Leonard Bernstein, one of the greatest American composers, conductors. Aaron Copland, one of the greatest composers of American classical music, conductor. And Sergio Zauer, Arthur Fiedler played with the Pops. I graduate Indiana University, and I get into the Jerusalem Symphony Orchestra.
Wow.
Big honor. Because there aren't a lot of orchestras, but there's a lot of people that want to get into orchestras. The point is, I reached my goal. Took 5, 6, 7 years studying. I did it. And then I turned it down.
Yeah.
To play rock and roll.
Right. Now, how does this is Mellencamp the first that from there to Mellencamp?
Okay, so here's what happened.
Holy shit.
I moved back to my parents' house. Living at home for a year. Gave up the Jerusalem Symphony Orchestra to play in clubs every so often for $75.
Wow.
I'm studying 8 hours a day. I went back to my formula of discipline and hard work. 8 hours a day, studied with a teacher on drum set in Boston and in New York. That was
studying for rock and roll?
Jazz and rock and roll, just reading, technique. transcribing, now I'm freaking out because now I'm realize I have to compete with all these great drummers that's all they've done is play drums.
Yeah.
Now I play drums, but I was practicing in school. See, in music school, you have music theory, music literature, music history, piano, sightseeing, small ensemble, large ensemble. You have conducting, sight singing. Then you have all your academics like science, math, English. It's a tough program. And, man, all this just formula. I played in an opera every semester, mandatory. But this is all the type of discipline that has given me probably the longevity and the discipline. It's nothing for me to work my ass off.
Right.
This is a way of life. So, it's like being in a Navy SEAL. Once you learn that shit, or the NFL, you got it. So I then moved back to Indiana, form a band. My business plan was gonna get a record deal, and I was scared to move to New York or Nashville, LA yet. So I go to Indiana. Everybody says, "What are you gonna do in Indiana? You just graduated from there. What's in Indiana?" Well, I got this band. Somebody invested $30,000 in the band. We got a truck. We got lights. We got the PA. We set up. We rehearse every day. Or my room used to be a outdoor porch. It got converted into an indoor porch. All I had room was for a little bed, little drum set, a nightstand, and there was a stand for the stereo. I had a little closet. That was it. Lived in this house. After 3 years, now we're up to 4 years, no record deal, and then I'm going to leave town to go to New York City, and I hear about this Johnny Cougar guy who lives in Bloomington. Long story short, I audition.
When you go in an audition, is it like, do they give you a tape? Is it like Jack and Diane and that stuff, or is way before that?
I came up with that.
Really?
It was pre-Jack. It was the Johnny Cougar record, I Need a Lover.
Yeah.
But now he was one of the earliest and very, very big at this point on this new TV show called MTV.
Right.
John was one of the big new. We were young. We were in our 20s. I was 27.
Mm-hmm.
John was 28. So we were young. It was Tom Petty and us. We were one of the biggest, young stars on MTV. So when I decided I wanted to audition, I realized, oh my God, this is the Beatles for me.
Yeah.
This is amazing. So
because he's got a video out and stuff.
Oh, he's got all kinds of videos out. And
Right.
He's on the radio. So he's on the radio. I heard I Need a Lover. He's in these videos. I'm not totally into his music because I'm coming from more of a fusion, technical, more busy, more complex drumming like Billy Cobham, Neil Peart, these jazz drummers. I mean, so playing simple was a new language for me.
Yeah, it's roots rock.
Yeah, roots rock. It was new. It was Charlie Watts and Ringo Starr.
Yeah.
Which, even though I love those bands, I wasn't the biggest fan of their playing at that point. And basically, I didn't know what the purpose of a drummer is. The purpose of a drummer is, in that type of music, is one thing, one big major thing. And this is what most people don't look at. Everyone looks at drummers, starts looking, they're looking at it through a microscope, like time, beat, groove, creativity. Yes, that's drum talk. But what is the big picture? Are you a blade of grass, or are you looking up from the sky down on the lawn at all the blades of grass? The answer to this is looking up from the sky down on the lawn. Purpose of a drummer is to get the artist's song to be number one on the fucking radio.
Right.
That means every decision, every thought, every symbol, everything that comes out of your mouth, every thought should be toward, is this going to make that song a number one hit?
Right.
Nobody tells you that. There's no rule book. There's no method book. I'm telling you right now. That was what my purpose has been.
Play for the song.
Always.
Always.
It's not you.
It's not your arm stick spinning. It's not your fucking hairdo.
It's nothing about you.
Yeah, nothing.
It's all about them.
Yeah.
When you're a worker, unless you're the CEO or the boss, and even then you're dealing with the consumer.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, man, your part's important, but it's not about you. That's why the Patriots win Super Bowls over and over. They're trained that way, 365 days a year. Not about you. I don't care if you're the number one running back.
Right.
It ain't about you.
Yeah.
It's about this team.
Yeah.
That's why when they were down 28-3 in the third quarter,
Yeah.
they were able to come back because they were trained to realize.
That's like old school 49ers with Montana. You're down in the fourth,
Remember
ice in the
that?
blood. Yeah,
Cincinnati.
man, the catch.
Yes.
There's like,
Cincinnati,
we've been here.
Minutes,
We've been here.
20 seconds, they march up the field.
We've been here.
We've been here and we know how to deal with
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
We can think like this. They could have lost, but the point is their methodology is there. So I get in the Mellencamp band. I win the audition. I played 2 songs.
What's the audition like?
All right, so they said be familiar with the record. I came in, set up my drum. First of all, John saw me, meeted me as I came in. My car's leaking oil. I got a drum set the size of Neil Peart. He's looking at me. I don't look cool. He looks at me, shakes my hand, and says, John Mellencamp. John Mellencamp turns around and walks away.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy fuck.
Wow, yeah.
Not another friend. I'm like, hey, I grew up, you're friendly. And
Yeah.
So I go downstairs, set up, and they said, do you know any of the songs? I went, well, I'm familiar with them. I'm going, I knew every one.
Yeah, yeah.
So I crushed 2 songs.
Yeah.
John leaves, goes upstairs. I start packing up, yells for Mike. Mike, get up here. Mike, get up here. Mike gets up there.
You
Mike
down.
comes down,
Yeah.
smiling, shakes my hand, said, welcome to hell.
Really?
Yeah.
2 songs and you get in.
I get in.
No shit.
1 out of 50 people. First guy out of 50.
One out of 50. Right there on the spot, does he say, welcome to hell, here's the money on the schedule? Or how
No
does that
money
work?
schedule. They said, we'll start rehearsing next Monday. In 5 weeks, we have to make a record.
Yeah.
Now, here's where it gets tricky.
Yeah.
I've made it, right? Celebration.
Yeah.
My dream came true. From 11 years old to now 27, I did it. I am in a band that tours, makes records, is on TV, on the radio.
What happened to their other drummer? They fired him?
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
So I get to L.A. I've been rehearsing. I'm learning very quickly. I don't understand the purpose of a drummer because my ideas are out there compared to what John wants.
You're coming with some Stuart Copeland shit and stuff?
And he wants Charlie Watts.
Right.
So we get to L.A., and in 2 days, I'm at the Chateau Marmont,
Yeah.
and we're recording at Cherokee on Fairfax.
And this is the 80s.
Yep.
Yep.
It's a 1980, as a matter of fact, and there's a band meeting. I go down. I can sense something's not right.
Oh, yeah.
And John goes, Kenny, you haven't had a lot of experience. I'm already going, no. There's my no.
Yeah.
Passion. I'm like back. I'm being pushed against the wall. I'm like, no. He says, you haven't had a lot of experience playing on records that are played on the radio. He was right, but I was saying, fuck you. I played with Leonard Bernstein. I recorded with, blah, blah. It's like, what does that have to do?
Yeah.
John was right. You have not got enough experience. The producer, Steve Cropper, wanted to get the record done in 8 weeks.
Steve Cropper. He's
Yes.
producing it?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
I never even knew that.
Nothing Mattered and What If It Did. Had 2 singles. This time, I think I'm Really in Love and Ain't Even Done With Night, which was kind of an R&B song. And they both ended up in the top 40, which is big.
Right.
If you're trying to stay in the ball game,
Absolutely.
top 40 is big.
Fuck
and
yeah.
back then, top 40 or
Was
top
a
100
lot of sales.
is huge.
Huge.
Not like they got billion charts now where you could be in the number 1 and they only sold 10 records.
Oh man, people
It's bullshit.
are in the top 40 right now with 700 in a week. I'm like, I could be in the top 40. Yeah.
Exactly. So
he's hitting you. He's
he
about to
said,
fire you.
You're
Think?
not going to do it. And I screamed at him and shocked everybody. Went, no, I'm not going home.
Yeah.
He said, go home. I said, no, I'm not going home. And then I was like, back up against him. I'm like, well, am I still the drummer in your band? And he's looking at me like, what the fuck are you asking me that for?
Yeah.
He went, yeah. I went, well, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to go in the studio and watch those fuckers play my drum parts that I came up with. And I'm going to watch and I'm going to learn from them. I'm going to figure out what I need to do to get better. And I'm going to get better. I'm going to benefit from that. And you're going to benefit because I'm your drummer.
Yeah.
And you don't have to pay me. That was the deal breaker right there.
Wow.
You don't have to pay me. I'll sleep on the floor. I got to sleep on a bed. Didn't pay me. It was humbling. I was embarrassed. There was no way I was going home. I would have been humiliated.
Yeah.
Remember I told you? I ain't going to die on the vine.
Yeah. This is incredible.
I will die trying.
He cans you for the record, but you're still in the band.
Yeah.
Wow.
I forced it. I forced the hand. I negotiated a deal that benefited us both. But here's the heavy part. I didn't have this rehearsed.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was that guy. I look back now and realize I was that guy. So this is cool. So I go home. I set up another 8-hour routine.
Yeah.
That's my magic number. Start lifting weights, become a vegetarian.
Yeah?
Just started cleaning myself out.
You still veggie?
No.
Okay.
No, I eat chihuahuas when they're still alive. I
Fuck
like to
yeah.
snap their head off and suck the blood out of them. My wife heard that right now when we have a chihuahua. Anyway, so what I did that, and all I kept thinking, you're going to make the next record. You're going to make the next record. You're going to make the next record. I had to wait a year and a half to make the next record.
Right. Now, when you're watching the guys, are you realizing, oh, it's more sparse playing, they're playing for the song, there's not a bunch of fills,
Oh, yeah.
it's Mellencamp, it's totally different.
Yeah, and their feel and the time.
Yeah.
And one guy, Rick Schlosser, he reached out to me about 3 years ago, and he living in Mexico, and he was a big session guy out here, and he said, I mean, this is what he said. I don't know if he really thought. He says, I knew you were going to make it. He said, you had the right attitude, and you were a nice guy. He was like, he said, I'm so proud of you, man. I think that's so cool that you did
Wow.
that. He says, dude, you blew past everybody. So, now,
You're going to play on the next record. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to establish I was in the band, and we're going in the next record. I'm still like, just think of a bull with smoke coming out of his nostrils, head down, and he's looking at that red cape that guy's got. He's going to kill him. And I'm like, I ain't dying. Nobody's fucking killing me. So they're all going as we're going down to Criteria in Miami to make this record. We're all going down there, all right, now, Kenny, you have the blah, blah, blah. You haven't had a lot of experience. I'm just keeping my mouth shut. And John is in a shit mood because first of all, I didn't know this, but he was close to losing his record deal.
Right.
So he was feeling the pressure. We have to deliver. And his instincts were great. He always knew, he didn't know what to do, but he definitely knew what we did, if we didn't have good songs, he knew that.
Right.
He knew that. And we had not a lot of great songs. One of the songs was Jack and Diane.
Wow.
Off the record.
Yeah.
Not going to make it. Because we didn't know how to arrange. I was playing a simple beat like doom, got doom, got doom. With
Little chip.
Yeah.
Like Jack and Diane.
Which is cool at the beginning.
Right.
But as you know, as a songwriter, you got to develop it.
Yeah.
We didn't know how to arrange. So I go from cross stick to backbeat, but still, there's nothing really special about it. Lyrics are cool. The imagery is cool, but we don't know what to fucking do with it. Off the record. Next door, the Bee Gees are recording, and they got a Lin 1 drum machine in there. And we're hearing this, program shit. Because remember, Bee Gees in the 80s, they were trying to be relevant and do something different, which was dance.
Yep.
Which was drum machine.
Yeah.
Synclaviers and program. This is before Pro Tools. By the way, this is when you record with tape.
Yeah.
And that's why Steve Cropper wanted to have the session guys. You can't make a record unless you get the drum tracks perfect. There's no programming. You get full takes. The drummer has to play in time, groove, play his parts right, has to have his sound right, have to have his drums tuned right, have the right feel, have the right everything. One take from top to bottom.
Foundation.
There's none of this fixing crap.
Nope.
And I played one measure good, let's loop it. You had to be a fucking good musician, a good drummer.
Totally.
Not this wimpy, lame crap. That's
Studio
mediocrity.
time, $2,500 a day. Tape is
Yes.
$400
Yep,
a fucking
you nailed it.
a roll.
Exactly. So that's why Steve didn't want me there, and he's right. It was gonna take a lot of takes.
Yeah.
So anyway, the producer walks in with this Lin drum machine one day, and I'm looking, and I'm going, "What's that?" Because it's a drum machine. I went, "What are you using that for?" So we're gonna use it on Jack and Diane. I went, "Are you fucking kidding me? I'm gonna be replaced by a drum machine now?" I grabbed it.
Yeah.
And I read the manual, and I went, "Well, I'm gonna program something." So I programmed that whole intro. It's basically my drum part, but I used, instead of a kick drum was a pitched tom-tom. The instead of a snare drum was hand claps.
Right.
Stuff like that. Hi-hat.
That's that whole sound of that song.
Instead of the hi-hat.
And it's 80s.
was-
It's coming. Madonna's coming. All that. And I
Yes.
called MTV.
And Hall & Oates, they had on
Yeah.
the drum machine.
I can't go for that.
Yep.
No can do.
And-
And the early MTV, I really was talking to Monty about it, who's the guitar player, Madonna. it's really dance rock. Is what the early MTV
Because
was.
it was a program machine made it have a dance
Right.
thing to it. Because it was repetitive and perfect.
Go-Go's,
Yep.
but Bangles,
Yep.
all that stuff,
It was
man.
heading into that.
Yeah.
And everybody back then to be on top 100 hit radio, you were always back then mediocrity was not as acceptable as it is now. Back then you had to deliver something new that nobody else had done.
Right.
And you remember album oriented rock radio?
Yeah, AOR.
Those guys were playing all the cuts on a record. And the DJs people would listen to, and there wasn't as much entertainment back then. There was no video games and stuff. So radio was big. They'd play all the cuts. Top 100 would see the statistics of what people liked the most, and then they would grab that song,
Yeah.
and play it on
The
top
hit song.
100. And that's the way it worked. So, and if you get a number one hit, the artist would make millions and millions of dollars, and then the record label would, because the record label would usually have 82 to 85 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
And the rest was the artist, and he'd have to pay 3% to the producer out of his
Yeah, the
15
points.
or 18%. So the label could make a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah.
So which would then be it's like a business. They would have money that then they could reinvest in new talent. That's
Yeah.
how business works. You make a lot of money. I mean, that's why the Republicans are always saying, this is not political, because I'm just saying, they're always saying, give corporations a break. The concept is so that they will make money and can hire more people because they have to expand.
Right.
That's what it is in theory. And so, anyway, I programmed the thing. I go in the lounge. I'm all bummed out. Just sucks, man. I'm fucking being replaced by a drum machine. And all of a sudden, later in the afternoon, Aronoff, get in here. It's Mellencamp screaming. I need a drum solo. Right after the second chorus, I'm thinking, a drum solo on a ballad? I'm going, shit.
Yeah.
Fuck. How do I do that? I'm thinking, what would Buddy Rich do? He said, say, this song sucks. Get a different one. I'm not Buddy Rich.
Yeah.
So I go, all right. So now check this out. We set up the drums in the big room. That wasn't that big back then.
Right.
They put the drums in the vocal booth so they could control the sound. But we wanted this big drum sound. So we literally spent a whole day learning how to mic a drum set. You have your close mics, then you have your overheads. Then they started putting room mics at different locations, different heights, different things. And you had to measure what the delay was from the close mics to the overheads to the room mics. It could be like, ga, ga, ga. You had to have the right delay. So it was like, ga.
Yeah.
It was smooth, and not a weird delay from one mic to the next.
So you don't get that weird fucking flange, like,
Yeah.
the listener, like, what's going on
Yeah,
there?
it kind of makes this. It's this, picture everybody listening. It's like a ripple effect where the ripples of one stone hitting the water. There's a proportion when this of the ripples that the stone makes that makes an even kind of visual thing. And then with sound, it's the same thing. You want to have the sound flow across the room evenly to make it sound good. So there was a lot of experimenting, and then it was time for me to come up with the part. Long and short of it is I started with that boom blam.
Yeah.
Which I was starting to learn the purpose of a drummer. John loved it. And thumbs up. I still got my job. I'm thinking I could get replaced. I'm like shitting my pants. Do you realize if you don't come up with something,
Yeah.
you will be replaced. It's
Yeah.
not, I might, you will be.
Yeah.
This happened before, and I am strutting muscles and, really just, they're not going to take this from me.
Yeah.
So I'm doing different things. I was trying to go up the drums, the toms, because everyone goes down the toms. And we got to a dead end. And next thing you know, I'm in the control room, and everyone's trying to tell me what to do. And all I remember was walking back to that drum set, going, you got 40 feet to save your career.
Wow.
You got 30 feet. You got 20. What are you going to play, Kenny?
Oh,
I'm
no.
like, I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm getting nervous. I'm shaking. 10 feet, 5 feet. I'm like, what are you going to play? I'm like, God save me. I don't know. What am I going to do? What do I do? I got to do something. I turn around, sit down. It's now. And something, bing, went into my head. Said, well, just start that drum beat you were doing, but start it 1/8 later. And the drum beat, on the toms was what I had programmed with my foot. So I was grabbing a rhythm that was already in the song.
Yeah.
Dish, dish, 2, 3, 4, 1, God, do. So I went do blind 1,
Yeah.
I moved it over, I displaced it by 1/8 note, and before I could do anything else, John's freaking loving it. So he hit a cymbal, I go to hit a cymbal, then I go down the tom-toms, kind of emulating In the Air Tonight, do.
Yeah.
Run on the drums, and I do a triplet, blah, blah, boom, boom. And then John screams, I stop, and then he says, no, idiot, keep grooving. I come up with this groove. And Mick Ronson from Bowie's band saying you should sing the chorus over it.
Yeah, I love that.
So let it rock, so let it roll.
That's
Let
the
Bible
fucking
bells
jam.
save my
Yeah,
soul.
yeah.
Song becomes a #1 hit in 1982.
Wow.
And it's still played on the radio big time.
And it
now.
saved your life
Saved my
and
life.
kept
Launched my
you in
career.
rock and roll.
Launched my career.
Once you get that and that hit record going, and now you're fully in the band, of course. By the time you get to Scarecrow, it's a full rock record. It's like a total different thing. No more of this. He's Mellencamp now. He drops the John Cougar, right? You got, I think, Rain on the Scarecrow, one of the best songs ever to come out of that man. And it's a full different thing. And that's got to be kind of like relaxing, right? Because now you're just really playing rock.
I just started to relax then because the day that I heard that Jack and Diane went to #1,
Yeah.
I was in the exact same room at the Chateau Marmont.
Wow. The one
Right.
where you didn't get to play drums.
Right. And here was my reaction.
Yeah.
Holy shit, we're #1. Then I went, holy fuck, can I do this again? Oh my God, I don't know if I can. I'm not really #1. There's a million drummers better than me. Holy shit, what do I do? How do I study? What do we learn? How do you practice to be #1? I don't even know the song John's going to write. I was like, there's a million things.
Yeah.
To do it again.
Yeah.
How do you do that? That's what I was thinking about. I'm like the running back that finally gets a touchdown. I'm like, great, I got to do this again. Not like I did this, yippee. I got to do this again. I was more nervous about doing it again than that I had done it. So when the next record, came out, I was, John would play songs. I'll never forget. The album was done. It had Pink Houses on it.
Yeah.
It had the Authority song.
Wow.
And John calls me up and says, they've mastered the record. He says, Kenny, I got a new song I just wrote. I said, I thought the record was done. He says, I don't think we got the first single. I'm coming over to your house now. Crumbling down.
Wow.
So John comes in.
Wow.
He walks in. Guess what he says?
What?
Don't fuck up this song.
Don't fuck up this song.
And the way John would do it.
Hothead John.
John would play this song on acoustic guitar
Uh-huh.
and then say, what do you got? He'd play me a beat. And he'd even admit that every song he wrote was pretty much the same. And so I had to come up with simple beats.
Oh, to totally make,
Better
because they're just
make the
folk
song.
songs, acoustic,
Yes.
like singer-songwriter stuff
Exactly.
without it, you know?
Exactly.
It all, like, if you go see a guy singer-songwriter, they really kind of invent stuff like playing some beats
Yeah.
on the flat top, you
Yep.
know, and stuff,
Yep.
because or else it's just all straight
all the
line.
same shit.
Yeah.
So it's up to me to come up with the feel or the little tweaky little thing that makes it like, oh, I know that song. That's got that.
Yeah.
So he starts playing. I'm shitting my pants. I don't even have sticks in my hand. I'm playing with my fingers. He plays doom 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 on acoustic guitar. The eighth note thing. Well, some people are no damn good, so I go follow his acoustic guitar with my foot.
Wow. So that'd be the bass drum?
I do with the bass drum, and my fingers, I hit the snare drum on 2 and 4. Do ba, chicka, and then I go to the chick on the hi-hat in the hole.
Yeah.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and chicka, some people are no damn good. Chicka, and then
Wow.
and then chicka, and then.
Wow.
Don't ask me how I came up with it.
Yeah.
But I did.
Yeah.
Fucking song becomes this big hit.
Wow.
I recorded it. It's got a drum break in it, and I still got my job. That's the way I looked at it.
Still got your job. Every record, no job security.
I'll I'll name another song. Authority song.
Yeah.
I was listening to the Stones and I was listening to the Police, and that is the way I play that song. I'm doing the Charlie Watt thing where you'd come off the high on beat 2 and 4.
Yeah.
Hi-hat's going. And I was doing these fills on the hi-hat and things that Stewart did. And that created a whole vibe that changed everybody's part in the band. And all I was doing was this simple thing, but it was different.
Right.
We get the Scarecrow, and now I'm feeling, okay, I'm figured out how this works. In Scarecrow, believe it or not, the influence for that, the beat is 2-measure phrase.
Yeah.
Starting to broaden my thought out. Maybe we'll make it a 2-measure, 4-measure phrase. Simple, but the influence for me on that was Let's Dance.
Oh, wow. Put on your red shoes and dance the blues. Yeah.
And he just did the one beat. So to be different, I took the one beat and then added another measure to make it 2 beats.
Wow.
Do do da do do is Let's Dance, and I
Rain
went
on
do
the
do da do
Scarecrow.
do ga do
Yeah.
ga ooh ooh ga, and then on the chorus it'd be the release was I mean, I changed it up. I was always clever at changing one thing, one little note for each section to
Yeah.
make it develop, and I was on my way. And now we have Rolling Stone names me Best Drummer of the Year.
Wow.
Critics' Choice. That year we're playing in arenas, sold out, 3-hour show, no opening act.
Yeah.
Just us.
I saw that tour.
You did. That
Yeah.
was killer.
Incredible.
And then Jubilee came behind it.
Oh, yeah.
Which was also huge. We are America's biggest, newest, coolest band.
Is the money going up as you're going along?
No, John was making millions and I was on a salary.
Right.
I could get a house in Indiana, a car, but the last show at Milwaukee Fest on the Jubilee tour,
Yeah.
this is the end of 8 years of just nonstop working. The end of the tour, last show, John comes up to me and gives me a bonus check. Back in the day when they gave you bonus checks, and he went, "Hey, don't spend this in one place, fucker. I'm quitting the music business for 3 years."
Wow.
And
He
that
just-
blew me away because now I realized I'm at the mercy of this guy deciding if I make money or not.
Right. Right.
I mean, yeah, when he almost fired me the first time, but now I was in the band.
Yeah,
like,
you're like, well, now you figure I'm a
When?
band member. We're gonna be playing for years. The Stones played for years. Fucking,
Now they see, because I wasn't. John was getting the lion's share of the money. Fine, it was
Of course.
his deal. He's the writer. We were on a teeny little retainer. Now I had just gotten divorced.
Yeah.
So not only am I getting divorced, but I've lost my job in a sense.
Wow.
It was a very insecure
And
moment.
did you see that coming at all?
Not at all, man. That's my point.
He was just like, I'm out of
I'm
here.
done. And I look back now,
Yeah.
and I said it in my book. He was fried.
Yeah.
He was burnt. Now, if I was really smart and wasn't on the blade of grass, but up in the sky looking at the lawn, I would have realized, he's burnt today. He ain't gonna quit.
Yeah.
And he didn't. But here's what happened to me.
Yeah.
The glass now is always full.
Yeah.
Yeah. At first I went, oh my God, my glass is empty. Woe's me. I don't have income. I got divorced. How am I going to do? I had a session, but oh my God, how am I going to make a living? Holy shit.
Yeah.
And I went, all right, here's that no thing. There is no no. I went, all right, fucker. I've been playing with one artist for 8 years. Now I'm going to go play with all the other artists.
Yeah.
Went to L.A.
And you put the word out?
Put the
You get
word
a
out,
manager?
so-
What do you do?
I didn't get a manager. I had a couple sessions out here, and I was on the phone.
Who were they with?
One was Belinda Carlisle.
Oh, yeah. Badass.
Well, first of all, I did Belinda Carlisle, "Heaven on Earth," which went to #1.
Wow.
First song out of Mellencamp that I've recorded that went to #1.
Wow.
So now I'm on 2 #1 hits.
Yeah.
Back then, when you're #1, you are fucking not some of these people that are #1 on some fucking chart that don't mean shit.
Yeah, you're talking. You're
about
talking
20 #1 hits.
2 million.
Yeah, this
3
is
million.
millions
Yeah.
across the board. So I'm doing. I think I was doing another Belinda Carlisle record. I think they did the Graces, which was some of the girls in A couple of girls.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was, yeah. A couple in the the Go-Go's, yeah. And then a couple of, then I did some unsigned people, and then all of a sudden, a year and a half into this, I get a call. No, a year and a half into it, I get a call from this guy, Don Was.
Don Was, famous producer.
Yeah.
Is he doing
Kenny,
Fogerty?
He wasn't famous then.
Right.
He's going, hey, Kenny, it's Don Was. How you doing, man? He says, man, I'm doing this record. Iggy Pop. You want to play on an Iggy Pop record? I went, oh, you fucking kidding me?
Iggy Pop?
Fuck yeah. He says, well, come down and meet me at the record plant.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the details. Iggy wants to meet you.
Yeah.
So I go down to the record plant, and I go up to the three black guys that are the Sweet Pea, and so I thought Don was black.
Right.
I swear to God, the way he talked, I thought he was black. He had that thing, and I'm going up there. Sweet Pea's, Don Was. Man, Don Was. You think I'm Don Was? They're laughing. And I go over to these two white guys, and I'm going like, Jesus, guys, I'm so embarrassed. I thought one of those guys was Don Was. When's Don getting here? And Don says, I am here. I'm Don. Don was laughing his head up. And Dave was there. And they just thought it was hilarious. Don he still talks about it. So we talk, and then, I go up and meet. Don was not a famous producer at all.
Right.
He was renting a house right on Laurel Canyon at Lookout Mountain up there.
Yeah.
Go to his house, and I meet Iggy. Iggy's like, yeah, man. And we're both sharing that. He played timpani in the orchestra in Detroit where he grew up. He was like me. We go in, dude. I am so pumped I'm playing on Iggy Pop record. I wore no shirt.
Yeah.
Duct taped the headphones to my head.
Yeah.
And fucking Keith mooned it and bashed and crashed. And I remember there was a Waddy Wattel was sitting to my right.
Yeah. Wow.
Charlie Drayden, the drummer, playing bass on my left. Waddy turns around. You have to fucking play so fucking loud. I went, it's a fucking rock record, you fucking pussy.
Yeah.
So I said, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Iggy loved it. And then one day, Slash and Duff come in.
Wow.
And I'm going like, the fuck are they doing here? Don says, no, man, they're great. And they were.
Wow.
They had a thing, man, that was amazing.
Right.
Had arrangement ideas, had a sound, it was aggressive, it was bass. And then me and Slash and Duff started hanging out. There's a killer story where we are shit-faced.
Yeah.
We show up at a Cult concert at the Gibson Amphitheater, which was Universal Amphitheater back then. We fall out of a limousine with chicks, drunk, and probably might have been doing a few other things.
Yeah. Some blow.
Yep.
Yeah, love it.
They're there.
Yeah.
Checking out Matt Sorum.
Oh, wow. For the
He's playing
snatching.
the Cult.
Yeah.
And so Matt tells me, I remember seeing your guys' limo and chicks falling out. And you guys, I don't remember seeing you. I saw Duff and Slash. Well, it's because I'm bald and I probably just fell out,
Yeah.
But we met Matt, and that was the audition. I never occurred to me to go like, hey, I'll do it.
Yeah, right. Hey, I'll do it.
That. I said, I was just happy being a session guy now.
Yeah.
Anyway, one of the days we're recording with Don. Don said, I got to go to the Grammys. And I'm thinking, I'm thinking Blade of Grass, like just drums. Grammys, Smammys, whatever. I'm not getting the big picture of everything. I'm just thinking, I just want to make sure I get this record done or this song done.
Yeah, instead of being Kenny Aronoff, like the guy out there, you're more like
focused.
Yeah.
Which is the right thing to do. In the NFL, they say the first year when you play, if you're on an offensive line, you're looking at the guy right in front of you. Next year, you're looking at your guy on left and right and the three guys in front of you. Right. Next year, it's 5 and 5, and then you finally
peripheral
understand
vision.
Everything.
Yeah.
So, Don, we watch TV just so much. Don's on TV. Don wins 3 Grammys.
Wow.
2 for Nick of Time with Bonnie Raitt. Huge, successful record of the year. Yeah. And 1 for Love Shack.
Wow. Love it. Yeah.
Don suddenly is the shit.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I'm doing Bob Dylan.
Now, was Dylan in the studio?
Yes. I'm the only guy in the whole session that was on every day of recording.
I can hear
that. It was 4 days spread out over 4 or 5 months.
Which record is that? Time Out of Mind?
No, it's Under the Red Sky.
Wow.
The one that came after the one that was done in New Orleans.
Right. Oh, yeah.
It was one of the greatest, coolest records. And I thought, and first day, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimmy Vaughan, Dave Lindley are on the session.
No way!
The year Stevie died.
Oh my God! So
I have-
Stevie
I have-
Ray's there?
January 8th. I'll never forget it. It was January 8th. And I'm having an incredible talk with Stevie.
Yeah.
He's sober. He's showing me how his nose has no cartilage. He's squishing it.
Wow.
The coolest motherfucker. And so Bob doesn't show up. And finally, I'm sitting in the control room. All of a sudden, somebody touches my shoulder. I turn around. It's Bob. He goes, shakes my hand, goes, "Hey, Kenny, Bob Dylan, nice to meet you."
Wow.
That was the only thing we ever said the whole time.
Wow. He's not giving you any notes or anything. It's straight
check this
producer
out.
only. Yeah.
Check this out.
Yeah.
Goes out, sits at the piano, starts playing. So a light went off in my head. Play with him.
Yeah.
Start playing. Everybody's out in the lounge. They go running in. Thank God the engineer hits record. That's the take.
Whoa.
Wiggle, wiggle.
Wow.
Might have done it one more time.
Right.
But the point is,
Be ready.
so I had somebody told me, always be ready for that fucker.
Yeah.
Because the point is, if he gets disappointed, he'll just leave.
Yep.
And okay, so I realized, wow, so we record a couple other songs. Next session, it's like Robin Ford, Al Cooper on organ.
Ooh.
You know, another day it's Bruce Hornsby,
Oh.
Randy Jackson. From
Oh,
American
yeah.
Idol on
Yeah.
bass.
Remember he played in Journey?
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the spandex.
Yeah.
Dude, it was like every day was unbelievable. And one day I'm in there and Dylan's facing me. He's got glasses on,
Yeah.
baseball hat, hoodie, big, huge motorcycle glasses, and they put a whole little vocal booth around him. I mean, I didn't know if I should look at him. I don't know. It was like,
Yeah.
And he knows who I am to this day. I did it when we did the Music Cares 3 years ago, honoring him. I walk off stage after my last performance. You know, I played with, I don't know, different 9, 12 artists.
Yeah.
And walk off, and there's Jimmy Carter, and I shake his hand. And then there's Bob with the coat over his shoulders with big, tall, gorgeous women next to him. And he smiles at me. He says, "Hey, Kenny, you played great tonight." I mean, that is
Wow.
like as good as it gets.
Yeah. Come
'Cause
on.
He does
man.
not. Oh,
Yeah.
he would fucking look right past you.
Yeah.
You don't need to talk.
Yeah, guy's
he
a
got
god.
a big kick out of me. He likes me.
Yeah.
He likes me, mommy.
Yeah.
So I was off the races. Bob Dylan, Bob Seger, Bon Jovi, Elton John.
Jesus.
I mean, I'm walking out.
All those guys in the sessions? Because now it's just...
Elton asked me to go on tour with him, and I turned it down to stay with Mellencamp. Hardest fucking thing I ever did. I actually went to the phone booth. Bernie Taupin calls me up and goes, "I got you a fucking Elton John tour.
Wow.
And Elton loves you."
Wow.
And so I went, okay. I'm thinking about it. I just wasn't willing to leave Mellencamp. So I go to the phone booth. I'll never forget it. Four Seasons Hotel in Toronto. I walk up to it, call the office. This is Kenny Aronoff. No.
Oh.
What do you mean? I said, I'm not going to do tour. No.
Oh,
Not gonna go on tour.
no.
That's how I was. I was
Yeah.
like, Bernie comes to us. We're playing at the Forum, sold out 2 nights.
Yeah.
Bernie goes, "I can't believe you turned down Elton John." I went, "Well, look at this fucking sold out 360 audience.
Yeah.
They're here to see John, but they're here to see me and the other guys." Dude, it's really hard to walk away from this. When I do that big drum solo in Jack and Diane, the entire place mimics my drum solo. They air drum to me.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm a sideman here.
Yeah.
I am here. This is my band.
Right.
That's how I felt. He says, "I get it." But that was tough. That was one of the toughest
God.
ones. Now let's fast forward. You know, we get back in the band and
Yeah, man. So he
91.
decides to go back in and work again.
Doesn't matter if one of it did. We have a band meeting. He's going to pay us this big ass bonus
Wow.
for making him millions. We stupidly started asking questions in the meeting. You could tell that John was not in a good mood. I say it in my book. I mean, that's why I feel comfortable saying this now. John was not in a good mood. See, the thing about and I defend John in the book.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that being intense and not a nice guy is acceptable. I understand why.
Right.
The reason why, he was stressed, man. He was running everything. He's like songwriter, how we look, how we perform, yelling at the manager because he's not doing a job, yelling at the record label because they're not doing a job, yelling at, just, and then he's got family stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, it was max way over what we had to deal with.
Right.
So he's in a shit mood. He comes in, he's grumpy, and we start asking questions, and eventually Larry asks a question that really pisses John off. John stands up, is face to face with Larry. Larry says went to school with him. And Larry's asking for this shit to be in writing. John's insults. I never put anything in writing. And Larry goes, "Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's my whole point.
Right.
I want this in writing." Larry's got a lawyer now, and he's been off. He was off. He got a record deal. Everybody was. John kind of created the whole thing.
Right.
He quits. So people got to make a living. So
Yeah.
John fires the entire band.
Wow. Right there.
Right there.
In the meeting.
The accountant comes in. Very nice guy. Tim goes, "Guys, I've been instructed to tell you to get all your shit out of the studio, all your shit out of the practice room by tomorrow.
Wow.
And you're fired.
No bonus.
You did write a check for half the amount.
Really?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Never did we get the other half.
Wow.
He
And he just fires the band over some
Larry
questions of like stability.
Yeah. John was insulted at our attitude.
Yeah.
And so Larry never came back. I got back in, and it was never the same because the session thing.
Yeah.
John felt like, he wasn't number one and wasn't that as important. He's right, man. I was making more in one day than I was making a whole week with him
Wow.
as a session drummer.
Right.
And I was working 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And then I went after Nashville. I literally went after Nashville because I realized I can drive 4.5 hours to Nashville or fly to L.A. in 4.5 hours. And I can fly 1:40 to New York. I put a drum set in New York, 2 in Nashville, and I had 2 in L.A. And I literally started working Nashville. I could drive. I was going from Nashville to L.A., L.A. to Nashville, back to Indiana. I was like working nonstop. Huge records. I worked with guys in the country. We want to talk about the real country motherfucker.
Yeah.
Johnny Cash.
Wow.
Waylon Jennings.
Wow. Oh, the Highwaymen.
The Highwaymen.
I saw the Highwaymen.
Yeah, I was supposed to tour with them. I did their last record, but then I did Willie Nelson's solo records, Waylon Jennings' solo records, and I recorded with this band called Trick Pony that had Johnny Cash on it.
Wow.
And then I played with George Jones.
Whoa.
Recorded with him. I just played with Loretta Lynn recently.
Yeah.
I played with I played with Merle Haggard.
Wow, Merle before he passed.
Yep, I played and did his benefit. Played with Conway Twitty 4 weeks before he died.
Wow.
I got to play. I could go on and on some of these real. What's his name? Oh my God! I played with. I didn't play with Chuck Berry, but I played with Chet Atkins, and I played with Blue Suede Shoes.
Oh yeah, Jerry Lee Lewis. Oh
no, Jerry Lee Lewis also.
Oh yeah.
Jerry Lee Lewis and Little Richard, and I did the guy who was supposed to do the TV show. He didn't, and Elvis took his place. It was Charlie, not Charlie. It was space his name. Big time country. Anyway, so it's cool, that I got to do the real country stuff. That's the weird thing about my career. It's like I'm played with that, but then I also done Tony Iommi from Sabbath.
Right.
With Glenn Hughes. We had our own band. We did a record called Fused.
Yeah, the Glenn Hughes. I forgot about
Alice
that.
Cooper.
Yeah. Let's talk Smashing Pumpkins. Let's talk about that a little bit, because I remember it was so funny because like Chamberlain's out, he's like crazy on heroin and stuff, and all of a sudden you're named the drummer. You're fixed on some goggles.
I'll tell you the whole story.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me back up. I'm on the last year I was with Mellencamp.
Yeah.
I'm on tour with Bob Seger, and I got John's blessing to do that.
Yeah.
And I heard that Jimmy had a close call with heroin, and by the way, Jimmy and I are really good friends.
He's great.
I love that guy. So Jimmy, they had to ask him to leave. So I called up the office management, said I'd like to audition for the Pumpkins because I was a big fan.
Yeah.
And even though I was on tour with Seger, and they said send in your resume, they said years later your fucking resume ate up like 20, 30 minutes of our fax machine. 40 pages. Anyway, so nobody ever called me. And then out of the blue, in 1998, I'm in L.A., staying at the Sofitel hotel across from the Beverly Center, and I get a call from Bernstein, something Bernstein. He says, hey, this is Bernstein, and I work for Q Prime, and one of the bands we represent's the Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, yeah.
I go, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Oh, what's coming next? He says, well, they're working on a record. I'm thinking, oh, God, I'm going to make a record with them.
Yeah.
He says, well, the record's almost done. What I'm calling about, would you be interested in auditioning to tour with the band? I went, yes!
Yeah, yeah.
And then he goes to say, well, I'll find out. I says, look, but I have to ask you something. If you get the gig, if you win the audition when you're auditioning, can you say 100% you'll take the gig? I went, well, I definitely want the gig, but I can't agree to anything until I know when are we rehearsing?
Yeah.
When is the tour?
Yep.
And what am I getting paid?
Yeah.
I can't agree to nothing.
Yeah, right.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like,
Yeah, sure. Whatever you need.
He went, that makes sense. I'll
Yeah.
get back to you. So we I don't know what we figured. I found out a bunch of stuff. Maybe I said this is what I've been getting, but which is a pretty high number.
Yeah.
And Billy said no problem with that. And I started learning all the Pumpkin songs, and I decided I'm going to play with a lighter stick. I had Vic Firth design my same stick but lighter.
Yeah. Why did you do that? Because
I just thought I'd have more agility, maybe more speed. I started to develop new foot technique.
Right.
Instead of pounding, when you're playing eighth notes and quarter notes, you can pound the beater in the head. When you start playing multiple notes like sixteenths, you have to play a little more relaxed. So I literally designed exercises to change my technique.
Wow.
And I always do that. I'm great at coming up with exercises to. I have a routine. It's like 20, 30 minutes. I call it functional practicing. It's a routine that I do. If I do it at least once a day, sometimes I do it 3 times a day, it is the exact techniques that I use when I play the drum.
Right.
If I practice that stuff, I'm going to sound great on the drum set. I only practice the most important shit that I need.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm learning all this stuff, and about a week before, maybe I spoke to Billy or I spoke to the manager. He said, don't worry about learning the Pumpkin songs. Billy only wants you to think more like Pink Floyd.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wow.
I fly from LA to New York. It's pouring rain. I get there. I don't audition. I get there, and Gooch, 6'8" guy, real nice guy, says, yeah, I'm Gooch. I work for the Pumpkins. There's your drum set. Why don't you get it all tweaked and stuff? I go up there, get tweaked, and Darcy's on the phone.
Yeah. Bass
Like
player.
in some world, she's like intense. James comes up, very quiet, shakes my hand, and walks away.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
So eventually at 1 a.m., Billy walks in with a trench coat, total stud, walks up, says, hi, Kenny, Billy Corgan. Takes off his jacket,
Yeah.
gets his guitar on, he's all business.
Yeah.
Goes, we already know how to play hard, loud, and fast. We'll do something more trippy like Pink Floyd and, maybe Grateful Dead jammy.
Yeah.
I went, okay. So he starts doing textures. So I start playing cymbals, and then I go to toms. And I'm going, this is going to have to turn into a groove.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't just be out in the space.
Yeah.
So I start to introduce this groove, Start playing harder, and Billy starts to go. Darcy's facing to the right, the opposite direction.
James.
James is facing the other direction.
Yeah, they're not even looking
They're
at
not even looking at each other.
Wow.
And Billy's now got stretched out one leg, one knee's on the ground. He's going for it right in front of the drums. We're rocking. Okay, so one observation's like, holy shit, this band ain't having a good time. And then I go, he gets done, and this was the thing that I think, this is my opinion, that sealed the deal. I went,
Yeah.
well, okay, is there anything I can do to make that better? You want me to try something different? And Billy smiles. Now that I know Billy, he probably was thinking, I'd like to think this, oh, this is perfect. I can work with this guy. He's easy to work with.
Yeah.
He wants to help me. He wants to please me.
Yeah.
He says, just do more of the same. Did that. That was the audition.
That's the audition?
Next day, I'm at LaGuardia. I get a phone call from Bernstein. He goes, Kenny, you got the tour if you want it.
Wow.
We'll work out details tomorrow.
Unbelievable.
And
then they gave you some goggles?
As I'm walking on stage,
Yeah.
first show,
Yeah.
I built like a brick shit house lifting weights like this, but with 20 pounds of muscle. And I got a black T-shirt with a yellow stripe down my arm
Yeah.
and black yellow stripe down my other one. My son, Nick, had these big Urban Outfitter goggles,
Yeah.
which was yellow and black. He says, I think these will look good on you.
Yeah.
They match your shirt. I went, okay, I put them on. Played the next day in the paper. It was like, Kenny Aronoff, glasses, Mellencamp, Pumpkins, glasses. They talked so much about the glasses. I went, I'm wearing glasses.
Yeah. Do you wear glasses?
Always when I play.
Yeah, because
Not for eyesight, just
Oh,
became
really?
my thing.
Really?
Yeah, became my thing, and then
It's you and Paul Schaefer, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just goggles. How many pairs you got?
tons. I've lost some real expensive, like $400, $500 pairs.
Yeah.
These you watch, looking at right now. I did Seth Meyers show for a week, and I went, and he was promoting my book. I went, shit, man, I got to come up with some good. Need new glasses. I was in Europe, and I got them when they were there. They don't have these here.
Yeah.
And and then I was on Seth Meyers. Sure enough, I went, yeah. People were texting me or emailing me, man, love the new shades.
It's
So
hilarious.
I'm about time to do another pair.
Yeah.
Got to mix it up. And I have a certain pair I wear on stage, the ones that grip real tight.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's a big one. They got to grip real tight.
Let me ask you something. I remember seeing Fogerty the first night that he decides to
Oh,
play the
House of Blues?
yeah.
You were there for that one?
Yeah, so he decides to play the Creedence stuff.
Yeah.
I guess, the second night, Fillmore.
Yeah.
Yeah, San Francisco.
Yeah. Jackson Brown was there. All kinds of people.
It was-
Petty was there.
It's one of the most insane nights I really remember of rock and roll because my entire life I worshipped Creedence, and he'd never play the songs, and then his new wife talks him into doing it. You guys step on stage and do it. I noticed, and this is what I wanted to ask you about feel, because before we started the podcast, you were playing me different stuff you did for the Texas Rangers. You played Zeppelin. You played some
New York Rangers.
New York Rangers.
Yeah.
Sorry, you played some
Beatles. Come Together.
Yeah, Come Together.
Allman Brothers.
Allman Brothers. How? Because I know that you play Creedence with more muscle. Because it's way different how Creedence played it. Because it's really more kind of that kind of almost folky Americana. Bum 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 bum
Yeah.
bum 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 bum. You play it with a lot of muscle. Did he ask for the more muscle, a different sound later on? Because it's definitely driving now.
That's exactly what he wants. And he told me, I do not want you to sound like Doug Clifford.
Right.
He made it very clear. He said, and here's the thing, I wish I could play it like I love that. I love the way Doug Clifford plays.
Right.
But that's not what John wants. John said he never wanted that.
Wow.
He wanted it more like the way I played. Now, I was the 30th drummer
30th.
to play at the end of 5 years on Blue Moon Swamp, his comeback record.
Oh, wow. Great.
30th, last guy. And he looked at me and he went, "You're the drummer I've been looking for my whole life."
Wow.
That's what he actually told me. And years later when we were recording, he held up 10 fingers. And he went, "What's that?" He says, "Man, I spent 10 years trying to play that simple beat you're playing right now, practicing 4 hours a day. I couldn't get it.
Wow.
And that's why I have guys like you, play this, and I can't play like that."
Yeah.
And so John loved me playing on the edge, pushing it. Just the other night, John's famous for speeding up and rushing and pushing it, and I get criticized for it, and I put it in my book.
It's funny because I really wanted to ask you that.
Yeah, the guy at the Hollywood Bowl. Obviously, you can see I can play in time and play with feel. You saw me do it today.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, anybody who questions it say, how can I be on 300 million records sold if I'm shit?
Right.
So the guy at the Hollywood Bowl really criticized me for not playing like Doug Clifford, and I put that critique in my book on purpose.
Right.
To say, I listen, I learn, and I lead. I'm the drummer. But I am clearly not the boss.
Right.
And
Right.
the boss,
Yeah.
if I've been with somebody for 22 years and I'm playing like that,
Yeah. He wants it.
It's pretty obvious that it's not my band. It's his band.
Yeah.
So that was a weird comment. I said that, no, I'm not the one. Just I get in situations like, John said the other day. I've been trying to, like, keep it more, steady as much as I can. But John's in a mood, and he changes his mood every day.
Yeah.
He wanted it more on the edge, and I was he felt like I was holding him back. So he asked me, "Are you okay? Is anything wrong?" I'm like, "No, I'm great." And he said, "Well, you're slowing down and you're dragging." I said, "Well, you know what? I'll go listen to the board tape. I don't think I am."
Yeah.
So I'm really focused. I have a 16-channel mixer behind me, and my tech mixes my own monitors.
Right.
In my ears.
Wow.
So it's mostly John's guitar and vocal. So I'm sitting back, like I said, looking at the lawn from above and going, how's that drummer sound with that band? Are you in time? Are you grooving? And, I try real hard to always be right there. So I looked at the show, and I took a metronome.
Yeah.
And I checked every single song in 3 spots. Only 2 songs. One song was at 1:58 midnight special, and it dropped to 156 at one point.
Right.
Now, 158 to 156 is very small.
Yeah.
And it could have been me listening to the way he was singing. I just wanted to adapt to him.
Right. Right.
There was one song in particular that says it just got slower and slower and slower. And it didn't. It actually got faster. Except at the very end, it went from 125 to 124.
One click.
Yeah. And but the thing is, it could have been just the way he was singing. I'm very, very in tune with what he's doing.
Right.
Everything else moved up, and not much. Nothing moved up. It was pretty steady. And you know what? John doesn't like it to sit. A lot of songs, certain songs, okay, but he likes it, if anything, to be on the edge and be exciting.
Right.
And that is John Fogerty. So yeah, it's not. I'm playing the way John wants me to play. So, the next night. So I said to him, after I told him the next day, I'd written these numbers down. I said, "I tell you what, you want me to tonight? Do you want me to play on the edge? Just like snappy, the snare drum way on the top of the beat.
Yeah.
Make it very, very crisp, and maybe even lean a little bit." He said, "I'd like that."
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
Wow.
He never said anything. He looked like he was in a great mood. Being a drummer, man, you have to. For me, it's way beyond drumming anymore. When I do things like I said, like the Kennedy Center Honors, the Oscars, the Grammys, these tributes. I mean, I'm so aware of everything that everybody else is doing. I know what the tempos are, who to count off, when to count off. I read scripts, before a show, so I understand what's going on. And so it's I love that, because now it's all about the team and the whole vibe of how everybody else is playing.
Yeah.
To make the whole thing amazing.
How does it work now? Like when I got here, there was a guy here, and you did a session for him. Do people just contact you through the
they
website?
reach out to me, and then I get
different prices for different people?
No.
Always the same price?
Well, with Sammy Hagar, when I recorded for him,
Chickenfoot?
That's a whole different. No, it was something with Run DMC.
Oh, what?
Duet, yeah.
Oh.
Might be on DMC's record. But I felt like this is not a beginner. This is somebody who's got a record deal, so I charge a little bit more.
Right.
But most people get a certain fee, and it's too much for a lot of people.
Yeah.
They get a certain fee, but we're talking. I won't say it on the air. It's really reasonable. Studio's free.
Yeah, studio's free. This is your studio, right?
Yeah, and I have for those who can't see it, I have a drum room.
It's incredible.
And it's pretty good. Sounds are killer. I have very, very expensive equipment in the other room, which is a control room. And I use an engineer because I want somebody that has as much experience at what they do as I have with me.
Right.
He's doing mics, he's tweaking. And I come in, I write a very detailed chart of every song. That's also for free.
Yeah.
So they're getting...
Yeah.
And my fee that I set is for engineer, room, chart writing, and me. And I give 3 takes to everybody for every song.
3 takes.
One is like the way I wrote it out. Second one is a little more experimental, and third one's even more.
Right.
They 3 takes. And what else is about this? Yeah, and I tried to make it affordable and have the best quality you can possibly have.
Right.
And
you get a shitload of work like that.
I'm getting enough, man. I'm keeping it going all the time.
I'm gonna go through a couple guys here and then just blast off maybe some just a couple words on each one. Jagger, you played with him.
Oh yeah. But 2 stories with him.
Yeah.
First of all, I played with the Rolling Stones.
Wow, you did?
Yeah, Don was inviting me to come over. We were working the Stones, and I'm doing Charlie Watts like me.
Yeah.
Jim Kellner said, he's playing percussion with Charlie on his solo record.
Right.
So he said, you got to have Kenny. Kenny's got some cool shit. I play weird buckets and weird shit in a weird way.
Yeah.
Charlie loved me, kept asking me to come back. One day I come back. This was, by the way, where I was rehearsing from 12 to 6 with Fogerty for the tour that you saw. From 7 to 11, I was recording with Roy Bittan, Springsteen's keyboard player.
Yeah,
from
Roy
midnight to 5, 6 in the morning, I'm recording with the Stones.
Whoa. Really? Which record is that first one Don did?
This is Bridges of Babylon, I think.
Bridges of Babylon, 89.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, Bridges of Babylon. This one might have been before that.
Wow.
The
Steel
Fogerty's
Wheels?
tour was
Steel
96.
Wheels?
96. Which one's 96?
96. Oh, shit. I don't know. I mean, it's all blur in there.
Well, anyway, so the point is, I walk in one day and now Mick is recording on days that Keith is not.
Yeah.
Don said, "You're the Stones, man. You got to play together. You can't make a Stones record and not be a band."
Yeah.
So he finally gets him in there, and it's 4 in the morning, and I think Mick is playing acoustic guitar, and I'm playing on a gourd with beads with a brush.
Yeah.
Mick comes up to me and says, "Hey, Kenny, be careful with that brush, that thing you're doing. I don't want you to get in the way of Charlie Watts' feel."
Yeah.
I went, "Oh my God, that's so cool."
Oh.
He's so aware of Charlie, and
That's amazing.
and Charlie, let me tell you something. Charlie's amazing up close.
Yeah.
He does shit so different. It's so bizarre. Dynamics. You'll hit a drum loud at one point. His choice of when he hits something is very unique, very artistic. The other time I was doing Mick Jagger's solo record.
Yeah. She's the boss?
I can't remember which one.
Right.
And I'm recording. I have to take a red eye. Yeah, that night.
Yeah.
Go to Italy to play with the biggest rock star of Italy, Vasco Rossi. Stadiums.
Wow.
First show, he could sell out Milan Stadium, which, 100,000 people in 30 minutes, 3 shows.
Whoa.
30 minutes, 3
Whoa.
shows. So I'm going to go over there and tour with him all summer.
Yeah. Wow.
It was a wild summer for me. So Mick, we're eating dinner. I'm sitting right next to him. He says, "Hey, Kenny, could you stay overnight and play on the rest of my record?" God, dude, I would love to. I got a plane ticket. I'm going to Italy to play with Vasco.
Yeah.
And he said, okay. I didn't know he knew who Vasco was.
Wow.
They'd had a thing where the Stones decided, Vasco decided the Stones shouldn't open up for them because the Vasco fans throw shit at the
Right, opener. Yeah.
and he was so big in Italy, he thought the Stones couldn't be as big as him, and he didn't want to be in an embarrassing situation, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I also, the first time I auditioned for Mick for his solo record was the record before that. I get an audition. I get to pick a bass player, pick my buddy. We go in there, and I am so pumped with testosterone. I'm set up, and nobody. It's Joe Satriani with an afro.
Oh, yeah.
And I just start this funky groove. And Mick's there.
Yeah.
I just started, and I remember Satriani look at me like, "What are you doing?" And everybody had to follow in. And Mick starts dancing, that chicken dance.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh my fucking God. I got Mick Jagger dancing while I play the drums." I mean,
That's
that was
fucking
like,
incredible.
yeah, it was like euphoric. It's just like meeting Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr. I mean, this shit is like deep.
Yeah, it is, man. Those are the top guns.
Yeah.
I can't thank you enough for doing the podcast, man.
Dude, man.
Tell me the book.
Well, the book is called Sex, Drums, Rock and Roll, The Hardest Hitting Man Showbiz. It's about my life. I left out 300 pages because I just ran out of time.
Right.
Space. I'm writing another book, and I haven't titled it, but it's more about why and how I became who I am. The other and it'll be a self-help book. I'm doing speaking engagements, which is inspirational and very, motivational corporations hire me, and occasionally I'll do them in theaters. I'm trying to really develop that thing. Basically, I'm trying to take this huge career and develop another career. I've got a meeting on October 18th for a PBS cartoon, Kenny cartoon from Rockwell,
Wow.
Beat Town.
Wow.
And I'm going to be educational for kids. May take that some other places, but that and writing the second book. A documentary that Kodak Film CEO wants to do on me.
Wow.
It's going to be an artistic one. It's going to be. I want it to be not just about drumming.
Yeah.
Drumming just happens to be what I do.
Yeah.
And yeah, sessions in my studio, still playing with Fogerty, and I got this band Supersonic Blues Machine that features badass guitar players, and I still play with the Bodines. And then I'm doing a tribute for Kenny Rogers in Nashville with Don Was on October.
Wow.
For 4 days.
That's
October
cool.
25th. Then I'm going to New York to do America's Salutes, where I'll play with 15 guitarists to honor the like Billy Gibbons and people like that, to honor the armed forces. Then in December, I'm the MD, musical director for the TJ Martell, honoring TJ for his cancer foundation. He died this year.
Wow.
And Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne are the MCs, and I'm the band leader and the drummer, and I hired Don Was to be my bass player.
Wow, that's
And then
great.
in January, I'm doing Music Cares with Don, which will honor Fleetwood Mac.
Oh,
which
man.
I'll be back in New York playing with, all these great artists doing
Oh.
Fleetwood Mac. So that's kind of my life. Is every day is
Yeah, move it.
it's just
64 years old,
moving.
dude.
Oh, that's 64. Yep.
Are you a comedy fan?
Yeah.
Who do you like?
Ooh.
Do you like Bill Burr?
Yeah.
Do you like Bill Burr?
I love Bill Burr. He's a drummer.
This is why I'm asking you.
Bill, and I did his podcast.
Let me ask you
I
something.
want to meet that fucker.
Let me tell you something. This is why
Love
I'm
Bill.
asking you.
Love that guy.
Would you do this for me?
Yeah.
He's one of my best friends. Has helped my career immensely. I
love
tour
that
with
guy.
him. Would you give him a drum lesson?
Fuck you for free.
Okay.
For free.
How about if we set it up in the next couple weeks?
Oh, dude, tell Bill. I love that fucker.
Oh man.
I love
Okay.
that fucker, and I want him to meet a guy that I want to meet. This guy, Jay Vanderdyk.
Yeah.
You know that guy?
No.
Oh, these fuckers together would be. I want to be with them.
Yeah.
Oh God, this guy's. He's employed 700 people. He's an inspirational guy, but he's
Right.
basically in the same area I am. If you're fucking not living your life loud,
Yeah.
you're dying on the vine. If you're dying on the vine, just fucking go. Take
All right.
yourself
So
out.
I'm gonna tell
Bill,
him.
I'm in. I'm totally in.
I'm gonna tell him, and then I want you to come see us do comedy.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Just call. You got my number. Call me anytime. I'm a busy motherfucker, but I got to do this.
All right. We're on it. I'm gonna hit him up.
And I want to watch you do this stuff because
That's what I'm
I
saying,
could
together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in.
Okay.
In.
All right.
Very good. Everybody out there,
Yeah.
live your life loud. Don't die on the vine. Life is a beautiful thing, man. Take advantage of it while you got it.
Don't forget, candles lit. Thank you guys for tuning in.